Let us in the name of the Holy Trinity go on sending all the slaves that can be sold back to Spain. This is a quote from one of the early journal entries from Christopher Columbus on his second voyage to the New World. As we've discussed, the Columbian Exchange not only involved goods and crops, but people as well. In this section, we'll discuss the way that the labor needs of Spanish settlement shaped the New World. As we previously discussed, the end of the 15th century brought a renaissance for Spain. It was now competing with its neighbor Portugal for dominance in Europe. A nation's superiority was measured in its acquisition of not only land, but mineral wealth, gold and silver. When Spain took an early lead in exploring and settling in the New World, Portugal was quick to want to come to the table to draw up a claim of its own. In 1494, 2 years after Columbus's maiden voyage, the monarchy of both Spain and Portugal agreed to the Treaty of Tordesillas. This divided up the New World into dominions shared between Spain and Portugal. Smaller colonial powers like England were resigned to trying to make claims off of the northern part of North America in present-day Canada. Up here you can see that Jean Caboto, or another Italian, better known as John Cabot, sailed off the coast of Newfoundland in 1497, 5 years after Columbus. A French explorer by the name of Jacques Cartier sailed down the St. Lawrence River, claiming all that territory for France. This would be an essential part of the establishment of the French Empire later in the 17th and 18th century. Dominion over territory also meant dominion over people. The Spanish crown permitted Spanish explorers to take and enslave native people so long as they promised to Christianize them in the process. We've read about the objection to this practice and the brutality of it from letters by the Spanish monk Bartolomé de las Casas. In the service of God and in search of glory and gold, Spanish conquistadors, remnants from the old Crusades, came to the New World in pursuit of wealth and prosperity. This illustration is for a book called the Kohler Codex of Nuremberg, and may be the earliest depiction of conquistadors in America. It portrays men and horses alike as steadfast and self-assured in their work of conquest because they believed their conquest was justified in their Christian faith. And here's an Aztec view of the conquest, circa 1531, produced just a dozen years after Cortez's arrival in 1519. This is a drawing by an Aztec artist that pictures Indians rendering tribute to their conquerors. The inclusion of the banner showing Madonna or the Virgin Mary and Child also illustrates the early incorporation of Christian beliefs into Native American society. Driven by gold and glory and the chance to elevate their status, Spanish conquistadors justified their actions with their faith and took control of native populations and used them as a form of slave labor known as encomienda.